Well, starting today, I'm going to make a series of videos of turning this almost 12-pound brisket into 3 different applications. We get started right after this. Today starts a series of videos where I take this almost 12-pound brisket and turn it into 3 different applications. What 3 applications, you may ask, or I hope you ask? I'm going to do corned beef, pastrami, and jerky. Why these 3? Well, they're all made out of brisket. Corned beef and pastrami are actually a Jewish preparation of brisket, and then jerky can be made out of pretty much any meat, but since I'm going to have a little left over, I'm going to try making jerky for the first time. How's this going to work? Well, this, as you may or may not know, a brisket is 2 muscles held together by a thick layer of fat. I should have a picture right here showing the difference. That's a cooked brisket, obviously, but you can see the different layers of meat, of muscle, separated by that thin layer of fat. Now, in raw form, that thin layer of fat is a lot thicker. This one's been rendered almost perfectly. It's a beautiful picture of brisket that I didn't do. But you can see the top part is what's called the point, which is the fattier part of the brisket, and then the bottom part is the flat, which is the not so fatty part. The fatty part, or the point, is what most barbecue people make burnt ends out of. They call it meat candy. I'm actually going to use the burnt, or the point, to make the pastrami out of, because pastrami can have extra fat, where the corned beef, it doesn't need as much fat, so you'll want to use the flat part for that. And then what's left over, I'm going to turn into jerky. So this is, I said, what I'm hoping to do, since this is almost a 12-pound, after you cut off the hard fat and everything like that, it'll probably be right at 11 pounds. So I'm going to try to do like 5 pounds for the corned beef, whatever the point weighs, and then the rest will be jerky. So that's the first thing I'm probably going to do is the jerky, because the jerky only has to marinate overnight, where the corned beef and pastrami have to be in a brine for 5 to 7 days. Now, I might ask, see, corned beef and pastrami actually have something in common. Corned beef is actually, or pastrami is actually corned beef that's just been smoked. I can make corned beef out of both of them and then just take one and smoke it, and the other one cook it the regular way, which is to boil it or steam it. So, so they take 5 to 7 days being in a brine to be cured, and the jerky only takes overnight in a marinade, and then you dry it on the smoker. So that'll probably be the first thing I do, but I got to cut this up first and figure out how much meat's going to go to where, and then get everything started in the brine and the curing process, and then I can make the jerky. So as I said, corned beef is, as you might not know, corned beef has nothing to do with corn. Corn was the old English word for grain before corn or maize was discovered in America. A corn of salt was actually a common expression, like a grain of salt is today. So corned beef is really just another name for salted beef. So as I said, once you pull each one out of the brine, one gets boiled and turned into corned beef, and the other is rubbed in a rub of black pepper and coriander, and then smoked on the smoke until, both of them you cook until 203 degrees, or just like a regular brisket. And looking very forward to doing both those. I'm looking forward to the jerky too, but as I said, this is just an introduction telling you what's going to happen. As I said, the next video should be the jerky being made, and then after that, showing the making of the brine and the pickling spices, because pastrami and corned beef also, the brine has a pickling spice in it that helps flavor the meat. So looking forward to doing that. I'm going to make my own one of those, and actually, going to take the raw coriander seeds and everything like that, and roast them myself and then crush them up and then make the pickling spice out of them. So that'll be one video. So planning on getting 4 or 5 videos out of this series, and hopefully they'll be entertaining. So that's it. This is just an informational video telling you what we're going to do with this 12-pound brisket and turn it into 3 things: corned beef, pastrami, and jerky. That's it for this edition of You Got It Good.